This was supposed to be a quick Railfan trip in the Latonia area. I grew up just a little bit from here. I remember walking along the tracks with my dad and brother, getting an ice ball at the sweet shop just a block away from the Latonia Avenue crossing. I had a day off work and went to check out some of the signals in the area. I pulled off to a spot I found a few years ago just east of the CC subdivision double track. I was looking around when I noticed a headlight in the distance to the south. I got back to my car and turned on my drone. I was in the air just a second before a Q542 roared into the shot.
Clear 30th Street, Q542, 03 and 3323 northbound. CSX Q542, 03 and 3323 north, approach median. Straight seatbelt. CSX Q542, 03 and 3323 north, median ramp approach. OB, south.
This train starts in Waycross, Georgia, and terminates just north of here in the Queensgate Yard. Its counterpart, Q541, makes his return trip to Georgia. Seeing anything on the CC subdivision is a rarity for me. Nearly everything I see heads down the LCL.
574, go right ahead there, guys. Get a little bit of air. Cars are clear. Yep, you're lined out. Thanks. Anytime you get southbound, you're in the clear there. 7, you're good. Get tied down, but tied down, cut away. R7, how far past? Out of the bid, over. I got all that. Thank you. We put 2 on the pit. We put the south 2 on the pit. 574. Eyeball switch, come right back on the west open. Give it a shot.
CSX detector. Milepost 4.5, no defects. Repeat, no defects. Total axle 510. Detector out. 54203 up there.
54203, go ahead.
Yeah, over 10 minutes trip to take that.
Alright, I'm off the track off for you now, fellas. I'm going to bring your 8 and the bounce goes to 5.
We got, that DP is on 4090.
Yep. DP's 4090. Let's see here, let me look at this. We'll set that DP towards 6 and shut back to 5. We'll bring the rear end in 8.
I like this spot because there are signals in both directions on the LCL and CC sub. I drove by all of them but saw nothing but red. I noticed a local sitting in the siding just west of the Latonia Avenue crossing, but it had a red signal staring it down, so I figured it probably wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. I decided to head a little north into Covington and look at the signals in the KC Junction area. I saw an approach limited on the number 2 track. I figured that meant a diverging move. Sure enough, I saw this train heading southbound. I knew it was about to turn east to head to Russell, Kentucky.
DP to 6. Shove the train 5. Put the DP back up. Now I've got a hump 8 here. It's going to be a little bit, but it won't be long. Come up to Guest Street. We'll get you up to Guest Street here. It won't be long.
Notice the leaser in the number 2 spot. It's a GATX unit, I believe a GP40. The squeal as it was forced around this turn was deafening. I was able to get ahead of it as it's made its way through East Covington toward the Licking River in Newport. The train is making its way across the Covington and Newport Railroad Bridge, also known as the Licking River Bridge North. Then goes over a junkyard and over State Route 9. Once it was gone, I made another quick check of the signals in the area. I didn't see anything giving me hope of another train, so I headed back to Latonia. That's when I saw what I'd been hoping to see when the day started. A clear signal on the number 2 track. That meant whatever was coming was staying on the CC subdivision. And unless it was being held out in the Queensgate Yard, it would likely go through one of the tunnels at Grants Bend, also known as Lamb's Ferry. I've lived in northern Kentucky most of my life and only found out about the Kenton County Thumb while researching this area for this video. If you haven't heard of it or would like to learn a little more about it and the Twin Tunnels, I've included a link to an in-depth article from the Kenton County Historical Society. Back to the train. I tried to catch it going into the tunnel from the north, but that just wasn't feasible, so I started to fly my drone back to the south side. Right as I was getting within view of the tunnel exits, the crossing gates and lights activated, and I heard the rumble of the engine. I was still too far away with my drone to get the shot that I wanted, but this train wasn't waiting. I only caught the top of the engine, single engine, coming out of the tunnel. Here it is from a few more angles. When I set up this camera, I just hoped that it hadn't switched over to the number 1 track. There were some kids who lived nearby that came over to check out the guy setting up several cameras and flying a drone. As the engine went off into the distance, I heard one of them say, "You came out here and did all that just for one engine?" I replied to the question I hadn't been asked, that I was expecting there to be more. I packed up at Lamb's Ferry and did one final loop to check the signals. The sun had set and it was getting dark quickly, but I saw a clear signal southbound at the Latonia Avenue crossing on the LCL subdivision. The northbound local I saw several hours before was still sitting in the siding. I never did hear what it was waiting on. I don't normally shoot trains at night. My gear isn't good enough for quality shots, but I figured, you know what, I'm here, I might as well. So I got set up and waited. Waited some more. Typically a high green for me means about a 15 to 30 minute wait. I sat there in the bank parking lot for more than an hour. Customers using the ATM were wondering what this guy was doing with all these cameras pointed at a dark rail crossing. Just as I was giving up hope, I noticed a distant crossing light up, and then the Latonia Avenue crossing started flashing and dinging. Like I said, night rail fanning doesn't yield high quality results. This has been a no horn zone for years, but when a train squeals this much, I don't think a horn would honestly make much of a difference. And the engineer gave a how do you do to the local he was passing. Maybe this is what the local had been waiting for. I checked the northbound signal though, no change. Still all red glaring back at me and the local. this does it for the mini trip. I hope you liked it. I see they're doing some track work on the Norfolk Southern Main Line in the Richwood-Walton area, so I plan on checking that out. I hope to have a video up soon. Please let me know anywhere else you like to railfan. I'm always looking for new places to go. Until then, hope you have a great day.